Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Today we're going to be having an awesome day because we'll be releasing not just one, but two videos featuring Myles Kennedy. This first one is a reaction and analysis of a song by Alter Bridge, and the second will be an interview with Myles himself where we'll talk about all things vocal and life too, and I think it's just going to be really fun and really insightful. So let's begin with the reaction analysis of Blackbird. Many of you have been requesting this. I was on the fence about doing it because I heard it once on a patron playlist and it was great. Additionally, I have a couple of students that have brought it to me and been working on it, and they sound awesome. But I've never done a deep dive into Myles' singing of it. And I've also never seen them perform it live. I just heard it the one time. And I feel like I have to know the song better because it's considered one of Alter Bridge's best. It's also one of their longest. And there's supposed to be like an amazing guitar solo in it with two guitars back to back. So usually, when you're teaching lessons, you skip over that part. So I've never had the chance to really fully dive into it and enjoy it, which is what we're going to do today. I also want to mention this song was written for Myles's friend, Mark Morse, who died as they were writing it. So if you think about that blackbird flying away, I think we should take a moment to think about and honor Mark's memory. Let's get to it.
Willow, it weeps today. The breeze from the distance is calling your name. Unfurl your black wings and wave. Across the horizon is coming to sweep you away.
Oh my gosh, his voice has so much emotion in it. Like he sounds like he's on the edge of weeping this entire time. Wow, I should mention as well, before this particular performance started, he did play a riff of the Beatles' Blackbird and then went right into this, and it was really a really cool transition to connect those two songs. And additionally, he talked about the friend that had passed and gave him a guitar. And anyhow, I highly recommend watching the whole performance video, which we will link to in the About section. I'm going to go back and catch this beautiful, beautiful vocal entrance. Wow. Oh, a little more.
Willow, it weeps today.
Love the breath in it
Breeze
too.
from the distance is calling your name. Unfurl your black wings and wave. Across the horizon is coming to sweep you away.
And so in a voice where you have this, like the transparency of emotion here, what feels like at any moment he might begin weeping. If you tap into what it feels like to weep, your tone will sound weepy. If you just like find that emotion too, it can bring it about. When that's happening, you need to have some sort of consistency still. It's really easy to get choked up and let that take things over. And I hear that breath being so consistent. Like he just channels the breath through sort of this weepy vocal positioning. It's beautiful. One more time. Listen to his breath. It's just perfect. That's exactly how you should do this.
Willow, it weeps today. Breeze from the distance is calling your name. Unfurl your black wings and wave. Across the horizon is coming to sweep you away. He's coming to sweep you away.
Also, I want to mention also that his voice is really taken from a top-down approach right now. it sounds like it's trickling. It's not too much weight. It feels almost floaty in the way it's coming down. It's definitely not into falsetto yet. Um, but this is an area of the voice that a lot of classical musicians will refer to as head voice. Don't confuse that with head voice that sometimes pop singers will talk about. Sometimes they're referring to falsetto when they say head voice. Um, and they might call this mixed essentially. But the placement of it is partly why we sometimes refer to it as head, because it feels like it's coming like this, like it's trickling in from above instead of being something that's really built up from below. It's very, very beautiful and tender and well executed. Just a few.
Across the horizon is coming to sweep you away. He's coming to sweep you away.
I love his control up there. That's high to be singing and this full sound, but he's able to actually do a little bit of a decrescendo off of it, which is really hard to do up there without cracking. Most of the time when you're decrescendoing and that breath pressure is lessening as you essentially decrease the volume, that breath pressure lessening makes the vocal folds automatically want to flip over, right? And then maybe go into falsetto. And it's really, really, really great control. Also, dang, his pitch was good there. That's a difficult area of the voice. Okay, one more time.
Let the wind carry you home. A bird fly away. May you never be broken again. Fragile cannot endure.
Oh, man, I love his expression. I'm going to go back and catch the beginning of that phrase again. I just want to talk a little bit about the instruments in the background. I love the way that there's like it feels like there's all kinds of like little interesting um, melodies that are sort of woven within that main guitar. I think it's really, really interesting. Mark Tremonti, I think is his name. I love the way he's got little bits underneath that sound like they're not part of the main melody, but then he'll pull out a line that does have more main melody in it. I know that in piano, that's really difficult to voice that kind of thing, and I love the sound of it. It's pretty, very, very, very pretty and intricate and fun. And then I like also this combination of a lightness and feels like a passage of time in some ways that you hear in the drums and lots of cymbals that are happening. And then the way you can suddenly have so much heaviness in it and then easily and fluidly transition out of it. I really dig the fluid between movements of all of these different sounds that the band is making.
Fragile cannot endure. Erect and the jaded, a place so impure. The static of this cruel world. It got some birds to fly long before they've seen their day.
And there he's using both like creaks where he's kind of going into a word essentially, almost using like a kind of vocal fry, not like a fry scream, but a different kind of vocal fry to go into a note. And then he also uses cries a couple of times where he does like a little break break the voice. And those things both make it feel extremely vulnerable, extremely personal. It makes it feel like you're right next to him and he's just telling you a story. I like it.
Fragile cannot endure, erect and jaded, a place so impure, the static of this cruel world. It got some birds to fly long before they've seen their day.
Oh, that's such a beautiful line. I need you to read that line. Because some birds to fly long before they've seen their day, long before they've seen their day. Wow. Talk about somebody passing before their time. Oh, it's a beautiful line. Great lyrics.
Long before they've seen their day.
I was going to say kudos, first of all, for playing guitar while doing this. It's so impressive when people can be doing both at the same time. He's got really good grounding and his support too. I like his breath control, breath support, breath usage, all of the things that do with breath. I like what he does. He can make it shimmer on top with a little bit of extra breath flow that's swirling, or he can really contain, I just think, a lot of support that helps ground the sound when he's really, really high. Additionally, he's really opening his mouth a ton here. So he's modifying the vowels a lot, which is very smart. That's the right way to sing up there. So the moment we get to the chorus with the "Let the wind carry you home, Blackbird, fly away," right there, we haven't gotten any really close-ups of his mouth during the whole time, but if you listen, you can hear that those vowels are way more open. Instead of "carry you home," where you have like a very close O, it's much more open in the mouth then. It's great. It's very smart. We still get the meaning of the words. We hear the words behind it, but he's modified it to make it not just easier to sing, but a better tone quality as well for that high in his voice. Additionally, I really loved at one point we did get like more teeth that was brought into the sound. You can hear the teeth when they came in. You got a little bit of snarl with it, and I loved this extra runoff. So we're gonna go back. Surprise! Let's go back.
May you never be broken again. Beyond the suffering you know, I hope you'll fly away. May you never be broken again.
Yeah, you saw that toothy moment? It was really good. I like that run too. Lots of great emotion to this as well. Just sustained, fantastic, wonderful emotion. Ooh, oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. That's wow. In this moment, right after, he went through at least 3 different vowels. So for those of you who are wondering how to scat or just improvise with a band, sometimes you can do it without needing to make up words. Just make up vowels and go to different ones too. So I think you went ah, oh, ooh, maybe were the different ones he did there. Let's go back and check it. vibrato at the end. Oh, it's pristine. It's a good groove.
And know you made such a difference, and all you leave behind will live till the end.
Shoot, he's so good. I think it's amazing the way he dropped in from the top like this with that like more heaviness, and then sometimes he'd bring up some sounds from the bottom and like kind of dig into the sound. There's so much expression and so many expressive elements that he's adding to this. He's stupid expressive. It's really good. Oh, back a little more.
May you find no resistance, and know you made such a difference, and all you leave behind will live till the end. And the cycle of suffering goes on, but the memories of you stay strong. And someday I too will fly and find you again. Yes, I will.
Oh, I love these words too. Know that you made such a difference, right? The cycle of suffering goes on, but memories of you stay strong, and I too will fly and find you again. Like, what beautiful, wonderful lyrics. I love the hope in this and the benediction in it. It's just, it's a really, really beautiful moment. Additionally, there's a feeling of 3 underneath. I really like that. A lot of times we just have feelings of 4 underneath most songs. And when you have a feeling of 3, it always indicates more movement. So you have a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3 feeling. It's probably in something like probably like in a 12/8. If we were to look for where the big beats are, a 6/8. But that would give you like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sort of feeling the whole time. And that 8 in the time signature is the clue that you have the feeling of 3 underneath. I know it sounds weird, 3 and 8, like they're not, you can't divide 8 by 3. Why would that be the case? It's because the 8 stands for an 8th note, a particular kind of note that gets 1 beat. So, and when you have that, it tends to be broken into sets of 3, which is why you have like the 6 or the 12 on top, and those are divisible by 3. Okay. Anyhow, time signatures are difficult. And this particular feeling definitely gets the idea of movement, maybe of flying away, of a spirit leaving. Let's keep going. Oh, this is our double guitar solo. I'll go back and go into this one in just a bit. I just want to say I love the way that Myles chose notes in there that sometimes were expected, chose huge leaps additionally, which is not always expected. And then every now and then you got like a really dissonant note that would resolve into one that we did expect. I think that gives you the pain of the moment. But it was really, really cool to hear just like a very wide range that went over. Okay, back and... first of all, really cool handoff. I love the fluidity of that. And I like the way Mark is also making a lot of faces to go with the playing. I always when you make faces when you're expressive up here, I think that helps to be expressive on an instrument as well. Um, that I love like the extra like fast that he did at the end that got extra distortion in it. It felt like it had a really cool build in it. And I also was really digging the way the whole guitar solo overall, it has like an epic feel that almost at the end feels like it can't be contained with just the word or idea of epicness, which is why it kind of dissolves in this extra fast playing. Oh man, I like his resonance up there too. He's done a very specific thing several times now that I want to draw attention to, which is makes an extra sound right before the word broken. So may you never be broken. And that can be a useful tool to get the air moving. Sometimes with high notes, when you start them high and your vocal folds start going wacka, 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 they have to do that really quickly. And to get the phonation to start, you have to have a lot of lung pressure that's immediately built up underneath these vocal folds doing the wacka, wacka, wacka thing. So that can be particularly difficult to coordinate on high notes. And if you want to keep like a lot of legato in the phrase, you can sometimes even fill in with like almost shadow vowels, which is what he does here. He does like a pre-shadow vowel, broken. And that you can hear that it's getting the air going with an H, which is essentially like aspiration of air. And then he just catches that wave of air and keeps on singing. So we're going to go past this again. There, hubby again. I love the way he modifies the vowel on it again, and it gets again like a little more snarl. It's cool with the run too. Nice. I think it's really great technique the way he's singing up here with these long extended belts. He's not adding tons of weight. Yes, he has a very focused sound, but it isn't like he's, hawking a semi truck through his larynx. It's very focused instead of very heavy. And that gives us a feeling of fullness, of grandness without destroying his throat. A lot of times when people try to belt up high, they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to like take all of my sound and like chuck it out. And that's not the way to do it. That leads to a lot of vocal damage. Instead, he's got a really nice laryngeal position that makes it a little bit more slender overall. And then he focuses his sound and it's really, really well done. And you can really hear when he goes up to that extra extension, it doesn't sound like it's difficult. It sounds really well formed, really well supported, and really well aligned. Okay, back here, maybe. It's great. playing with that vowel and again, again. And it's almost like he's using a filter, which if you do music production, you know what I mean. He's like using a filter and changing it and making it brighter. So by changing his mouth shape, he's essentially enhancing different overtones, and that creates the sound of the vowel shifting, and it suddenly sounds brighter at the end. I want to go back and listen to the way, especially at this end, it almost feels like the the guitar part that Miles is playing feels like it's almost vocalized. He plays his guitar like a singer, or like the two are attached, which makes total sense because he's learned both and obviously very proficient in both. So this very end, like the way it almost sounds like a singer moaning. That's really cool. The dynamics and everything. It's almost like ghostly, like ghost howling or something. It's like a blues singer. It's a great song. I'm so excited that I finally got to dig deep into this song, especially getting to see this live performance and seeing all of the cool things that Miles is doing with his awesome singing hole, aka mouth. But he really knows how to manipulate that in fantastic ways to make fantastic sounds. First of all, he's just incredibly expressive. I especially loved hearing all of these different combinations of styles to bring about more expression. But in addition to that, it's going to be so much fun to talk to him about, why he chose to do that really cool filter thing on the word again, and how he chooses his vowels for improvisation. Does he think about ooh as a quieter vowel, for example? And I want to talk with him about the full high part of his voice, how he considers approaching that position, because it is spot on. It's really, really great technique, and I find that incredibly inspiring. So thank you to all of you that have been recommending this for a long time. I'm glad that we finally got to go into it and into this live performance in particular. That was a great suggestion. And I hope that you will all join us for the interview with Miles that will be premiering right after this video. I think it's going to be awesome. If you would like to make more recommendations for songs, you can put that down in the comments below of this video. We look for those there. We count them. We track them. So leave them there. You can also find me on YouTube every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Arizona time. And by the way, if you just want to hang out with an awesome community of people who also ask questions of our interviewees, you should join our Patreon. It's really, really wonderful. And you can find me also at thecharismaticvoice.com for lessons about music and singing. I'll see you somewhere soon.